Hey, good afternoon. I'm Josh Miles. I'm the director of programs for Freedom Alliance for both support our troops and our scholarships here. And here with us, we have one of our scholarship students, Gracie Burgess. Gracie, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Well, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're going to school, where all the stuff that's going on in your life right now.
So currently, I am a freshman at Florida Gulf Coast University. It is a local college, so I'm still able to live at home, which is why I chose it. And then I am currently a health science major. I'll be going into my junior year next in the fall. I'm a year ahead, and I am adding a marketing minor on as well.
That's awesome. I'm sure that's not real hard at all to be doing health and marketing in the same time. I'm sure it's not difficult at all.
I don't think so. We'll see how it goes as it comes along.
Yeah, yeah. Cool. Well, so tell us a little bit about your father, his service. Just introduce us a little bit to him and what he's gone through and what his service means to you, if you could.
Yeah, so my dad joined the Army right out of high school. Right after he graduated, a couple weeks later, he went into basic training and all that. And he was in the Army from, I believe, 1997, somewhere around there, to 2003. He medically discharged then. He had a knee injury and he had just gotten married to my mom. I was just born. My sister was just born. So it was kind of a good time to step away for a little bit and be reconnected with his family for once. And then he got the feeling like I need the connection again. I need the brotherhood that I had in the military. He was working at the Cuyahoga County Sheriff's Department in Cleveland, Ohio, and it just wasn't the same feeling he had while, serving in the military. So he rejoined in 2010 with psychological operations, and he ended up deploying not too far after in August of 2011. While on that deployment to Afghanistan, he stepped on an IED, an improvised explosive device. He lost his right leg on site below the knee. His left leg on the medial side is completely torn, losing a lot of muscle, tissue, nerves from top to bottom, more or less. And, of course, traumatic brain injury, post-traumatic stress disorder. He broke his hand. So like a lot of more, littler injuries, but, still plays a part in it all. So yes, he retired then in 2014 after about 3 years of recovery.
Well, he is an American hero, and his story is so amazing, and we're glad that he's here with us,
Yes.
and that that he's done a lot to to better himself and better the veteran community as well. So obviously, he also passed the torch to yourself.
Yes.
And we'll get into that in just a second. You are a Freedom Alliance Scholarship Fund recipient, and our mission is to honor the service and sacrifice of those American heroes, such as your father. So, what does being a scholarship recipient with Freedom Alliance, or and knowing that there's people out there that truly care about not only your father, his sacrifice and his service, but also the next generation of great Americans, are as successful as possible. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
It means a lot because not only, I say this a lot, the service member isn't the only one who serves. It's the whole family who serves beside him. And it's not recognized as much that the children and the spouses serve as well. And so the fact that, it's being recognized that, the family serves too I'm so grateful. And, I'm very goal driven. I'm a very goal driven person. I've been, since the day I was born, and school has been my number one thing. I'm always in school. I'm always doing something related to school. I started college in high school, and, that's why I got so far ahead as I am now. And, having Freedom Alliance and all of its supporters being able to help to put other kids like me through school who, it's hard because you have the military life behind you, and, then you have to try and figure out how you're going to, roll after that. And, being able to have a college education is something that I find super important.
Well, we're proud of you. I know all of our supporters are proud of you, and we know you're going to do great. And not only in college, and not only when you get into your career after college, whatever that may be when you get out there, but also doing more, going that extra mile to talk about military service and as you mentioned, the military family serving alongside those service members who are going downrange. So you have an incredible project going on right now. It's a podcast, and I had the pleasure of listening to one very briefly in preparation of this. But can you tell us a little bit about your project, your podcast, and what it's all about?
So it's called Grace of a Military Child because not only did it fit with my name being Gracie, but military children are so graceful. We take things with a grain of salt. Like we let it slide right off our shoulders, whatever happens. The day my dad got hurt, I cried about it, and then we laughed. We were like, okay, he's missing a foot now. Like, that's cool. Like, you can say that. So we take everything with so much grace. And, the military kids, they don't share their stories much. And it's hard. It's so hard being a military kid. It's hard moving from state to state and sometimes even country to country to, be by your loved one's side, serving along with them. And being able to share those stories of military children is just, it's so important. And I feel it needs to get out there because, these kids are struggling. And, some people have, overcome those struggles. And now they're keeping it to themselves because they don't have a platform to share it on. And if I could just help another military child understand that it's okay, it's not the end of the world. Yes, maybe your dad, your mom is hurt. Maybe, they have a similar situation to mine. Maybe they're going on a deployment and they don't know when they're going to see them again. Those are struggles that we face every day. And even, as simple as we don't have our friends because they moved the day before, or, we just moved, we don't have that connection anymore. So being able to share my story, the story of other military children is just so incredible, and it needs to be out there more.
No, I totally agree. I think all of our supporters and everybody who sees this will also agree, who know anything about military life and all the things that you just talked about. It is difficult. I mean, I have 2 kids. They didn't move as many as a lot have, but I know we were just talking with some of our troops that we've helped the other day, and one of them had 13 moves over their career. These kids moved 13 times. The guy was just retiring. And, it's just amazing. It's amazing what the military family goes through, and it's amazing to be able to tell those stories. So we definitely commend you for that. We think this is a great project that you have going on, and we're really looking forward to getting involved any way that we can from a Freedom Line standpoint, and just being a part of it, or just to listen or have people listen, or use it as a resource for some of these military families and kids that maybe need to hear that story. So we're really excited that you're doing this, and that it came to our attention, and that we can be a part of it in some way.
Yes, thank you. And just being able to help get Freedom Alliance even out there too is such an honor too.
And we thank you. All right, where the important stuff? Where do we find it? We'll flash the site on there. Where do we find it? How often is it? How often is it up? And all that stuff.
So I started it in the month of April, which is also known as Month of the Military Child. So what a better time to start it. And April 1st happened to be a Thursday. So I was like, okay, everything's going to be published on a Thursday. So it is on all major podcast streaming platforms. The only one it's not on as of now is Pandora. But any other podcast streaming platform, you can find it under Grace of a Military Child podcast. I'm posting behind the scenes and highlights on YouTube at Grace of a Military Child podcast. We're on Instagram at Grace of a Military Child podcast. So basically anywhere you think you could find us. We're at Grace of a Military Child podcast.
Awesome. Well, everyone go check out Grace the Military Child podcast. We'll be posting this up on our social media here in the near future. And Gracie, thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you so much for having me.